I need to tell you something about what happens behind closed doors. Because for many, abuse is just behind that door. And I'm going to tell you about it in 3 ways. 1, a parable of how it starts. 2, a portrait of many such children. And 3, as a fairy tale. Act 1, the cycle. There once was a woman perusing a marketplace. As she walked by, a man caught a glimpse of her. He was enchanted by her beauty. It was what you would call love at first sight. He lurked behind her. How romantic. Suddenly, goosebumps rose across the woman's arms and she turned around and yelled at the man, "Why are you following me?" The man stuttered, I'm sorry, I was just enchanted by your beauty." The woman glared at the man, unconvinced, or at least still pissed. The man then said, "Let me make it up to you and take you out." The woman was hesitant at first, but then she agreed. The man must be shy, really shy. One date soon turned to dating. The man was small and kind. He would shower her with gifts, love, and affection. Soon, she moved with him into his red tower. Life was good. She was loved. But over time, the man changed. He came home grumpier, and later, he would snap at her, silently ignoring her, slamming the bedroom door. But it was one bad day, right? We all have those. Late to work, traffic, that one annoying coworker. But then one bad day turned into a bad week, which turned into a bad month. Eventually, the woman confronted the man, but that ended with a bruised hand and a medical bill. He apologized profusely. "I'm sorry. I'll never do it again." Gifts, love, and affection. Sometimes the people who love us hurt us. We all make mistakes. We all deserve a second chance. He would beat her. He would starve her, and he would degrade her, even as her belly swelled with life. Sometimes she would take her children and her belongings on midnight drives. But she could never escape the tower. She was trapped with no door in sight. Act 2, she is. There she is again, a little girl with twists in her hair and bobos tied to the ends of it. Her uniform pleats as straight as the edge of a ruler. She's lined up with the other children, packing her stuff away in cubbies. She's looking at me. The dark, wide pools of her eyes pull me nearer. A small smile forms on her face, but her eyes are needy, wanting. "What's wrong, sweetie?" Her eyes become glassy and she forces out, "My dad hit me." "Hit you?" She's the girl who raises her hand in class and gets high grades. She's the girl who comes in on time at 7:15. She is the girl whose laughter echoes the playground. No, he is the man who drives his kids to school every day and works a 9 to 5 to support them. Here's how they responded. "Maybe he was having a bad day. You should report this to the dean." "Do you want me to call the police?" "You're gonna have to go back with him. Go and see the guidance counselor." There they are, emerging at dawn, their eyes heavy and dry from crying the night away. They walk to the bathroom past the ripped papers, broken plates, and scattered toys. They stare despondently in the mirror, recounting the events of the night before. They bathe, get clothed, hiding the healing bruises. They hide amongst their peers. They may seem a little tired or like an overthinker. They may seem like a troublemaker or a silent kid that sticks to themselves. They go to school and get taught about stranger danger from adults. But what happens when the stranger you need to beware of lives in your home? They cry out for a reaching hand. There are many in hell just behind a closed door. Act 3, the little girl and the red tower. There once was a little girl who lived in a red tower. She would have to go on her tippy toes just to see the world down below. But when she became sad or weary, she would sing this verse. I want to peel off this skin, leave this world behind. I want to be boundless by the limits of space and time. I want to roam alone, hidden in plain sight. Be a ghost and learn to fly. I want to rip off this flesh and escape these red walls. I want to go on adventures, but these walls are too tall. I want to be out by the time the sun is down, to run from the monster and reach for the clouds. My body aches, my mind is tired. I need a place to finally retire, to rest these weary bones, to cure this tortured mind, to leave this red, red tower far behind. Why was this little girl so sad? That's because she lived with a beastly creature that was almost human-like. The monster was her keeper, if you could loosely describe it as such. He would put a roof over her head, feed her, give her water, and take care of her. So he was a kind monster, right? Stupid is a bad word. Where did you learn that? You never tell me anything of what you do. You should respect me enough to tell me more. No, you're not. Stop being spoiled and eat. Don't you dare leave this table until you finished every piece. Answer me. You are so rude and disrespectful. Stop crying. Stop crying. Don't make me come over there and make you finish it. And stop crying before I give you something to cry about. Don't you dare speak back. Just answer the question and give me the response I want. Over time, the little girl learned lessons from the monster, such as honor your mother and your father, and your days may be long. 2, you don't question elders. 3, elders can't be hypocrites, the book says so. And 4, children should be seen and not heard. One day, the little girl was getting dressed. She opened her chest to take out her clothes. It was a little too loud, though. She let it drop instead of slowly lowering it to the ground. The monster was already growling. Was the monster once a man? Eventually, the monster moved far away, and the little girl wasn't so little anymore. But those days in the tower never truly became unstuck. You fear others so you don't ask for their help. You minimize your problems because you have none. You can't cry or emote properly. People find it weird. You mistrust others, so you cut them off. It's easier that way, the little girl says. She physically escaped the tower, but not the one in her mind. She would get stuck there for hours at a time. Act 4, open door. Stop telling your business. It will follow you. You need to forgive and move on. Everyone runs from the truth. Domestic violence is seen as a private issue, not a public one. So many hide and get trapped in the cycle. So how do you become a survivor instead of a statistic? How do you seize victory out of victimhood? How do you own your story? Domestic violence, or abuse in general, is the burden of everyone in society. There is no true distance between you and a tower you'll never be able to escape from. Recently, an alumni came to my school and told me that telling your story is a key for others to escape their situation. And she quoted Toni Morrison saying, "If you are free, it's your job to free others. And if you are empowered, it's your job to empower others." You are not alone. Take this talk as your key. Open the door. Thank you.